How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather Swan Drop. That was today. It's April 7th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the major severe weather outbreak that's expected to occur in the southeast later today. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content, and make sure to share with friends and family. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar throughout the United States right now, and you see that we do see an abundance of thunder showers extending through the Midwest, through Minnesota, Wisconsin, and this extends to the Dakotas and even as far south as Kansas as well, where a lot of these squall lines are bringing heavy rainfall at times in certain areas such as Topeka, Kansas, where you just came out of a very heavy squall line with very heavy rain, and you see that we do see the darker reds, which represent very heavy downpour that's occurring over that area, and we do see it, a lot of these heavy rain bands extend further up northward to where even Minneapolis is somewhat getting affected by this, and the metropolitan region of Minneapolis. And however, despite the heavy downpour these squall lines are bringing throughout the Midwest, none of these are considered severe at this point, especially since at the time I'm recording this video, it is very late right now. It's around 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So obviously there isn't enough unstable air to really induce a lot of severe weather this late at night without the shortwave radiation. It really becomes difficult for the United States atmosphere to really have enough unstable air to support very strong updrafts or a lot of convection, which could induce severe thunderstorms. So as a result, none of these thunderstorms are severe, but they are bringing heavy downpour. So you definitely need to at least pay close attention to this in certain areas, because it could maybe raise a concern of flash flooding within one of these squall lines. If we take a look at the radar, they're moving at a relatively slow pace, which is concerning. And it's one of my main concerns I've been having with this low pressure system, is that it's going to move very slowly over the same areas. And the reason why is because there's going to be very weak steering flows surrounding this low pressure system. The jet stream is going to be well up to the north, so that won't be able to steer it out to sea. And we're going to have a little bit of a blocking ridge towards the eastern half of the United States, which will bring warmer than average conditions throughout the East Coast and even drier conditions throughout the East Coast. But unfortunately, that means that this low pressure is going to linger over the same areas in the Midwest and the Southeast, and could raise a concern of flooding throughout the Mississippi River Valley. So if we take a look forward at the radar, you see that over the next several hours, you begin to see the rain extend further southward, because currently the cold core of this low pressure system is on the western side of this storm, and that cold core is expected to move just to the southwest of this low pressure system as a result of the stronger northwesterly winds that are going to be associated with this low pressure system that's going to steer that cold core further southward. And as a result, we're going to see just enough unstable air in the southeast to induce some thunderstorm activity and create a squall line moving through the southeast, which could bring severe weather with hail, damaging winds, and possibly isolated tornadoes in some areas. As you see, the low pressure is quite formidable, right around 997 millibars. We do see the heavy rainfall. We do see the big squall lines moving through the southeast, and these potentially could be, it's likely in a lot of areas in the southeast that the thunderstorms associated with this squall line will be severe. So you need to pay close attention to this. And you see later during the run, you see that this low pressure pretty much takes on the form of being a classic mid-latitude cyclone, where we do see the rain extending along this frontal boundary, the dry air on the southwestern side trying to filter in to the low pressure system, and we do see more moist conditions on the northwestern side, and we obviously see the evident bow echo sort of associated with typically associated with mid-latitude cyclones. So this shows that this low pressure system is going to be formidable, and unfortunately what that means is that it's going to dump a lot of rain over the same areas for many days, because you're going to see the blocking ridge is just going to block this low pressure system from moving to the east, and it's going to move very slowly to the north while the Mississippi River Valley and the Ohio River Valley suffers with a lot of rainfall. And unfortunately, since this low pressure system is going to move quite slowly, it's going to set the stage for bringing the next trough further southward to bring even more rain to the southeast. Because since this low pressure system is going to stay over the same areas for a long time, it's going to bring that northwesterly wind component with it for a very long time, and that obviously increases the likelihood of this northwesterly wind component to carry a trough and move it further southward to affect a lot of the same areas that's just been impacted by just a lot of heavy rainfall from this first low pressure system. And you see that's exactly what's going to happen with this next trough, where it's going to move directly to the southeast, bringing a lot of cold air with it, and it's going to create a very unstable environment to the southeast. And if we take a look right around Saturday, you see that there's extremely heavy rainfall throughout the southeast, right along the Mississippi River Valley, which includes Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And this rain extends even further up northward. And this is quite a low pressure system, to say the least, quite a potent trough with a lot of cold air behind it to induce very unstable air to create thunderstorm activity in the southeast. So we need to keep a close eye on the next low pressure system, especially because I do think that we could potentially see even worse severe weather threat associated with this next low pressure system. So if we take a look at the current convective available potential energy provided by the GFS model, which gives a good idea of how much potential energy there will be, which would pretty much give a good idea of where exactly most severe weather will be. Because obviously one of the things that creates severe weather is very strong updrafts, and updrafts require a lot of potential energy in the atmosphere. There needs to be a driving force that's going to force that those air molecules move further northward, and the convective available potential energy really exemplifies and represents how much lift there will be in the atmosphere to help support thunderstorm activity. And you see that over the next several hours, you see a lot of that convective available potential energy is going to be throughout the Midwest, just to the west of the Missouri and Kansas border. However, this will eventually move further eastward as well, along with the low pressure system, and you see that convective available potential energy moves further eastward, where it impacts Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and a lot of the Mississippi River Valley states further up northward. And what's concerning is that we're seeing a lot of that convective available potential energy over the Gulf of Mexico, which means that the atmosphere is gonna pretty much have a field day when it comes to absorbing a lot of water vapor from the ocean, the very warm ocean water at that. So, and along with the southerly wind component associated with the ridge that's located along the east coast of the U.S., it's going to bring a lot of that convective available potential energy further northward to bring that thunderstorm activity and that precipitation further northward to not only continue to fuel this low pressure system for days to come, but bring even more increase the chance of severe weather throughout the southeast. So we need to keep a close eye on that. It seems pretty much inevitable that there's going to be a pretty big severe weather threat in the southeast. However, I wouldn't say it's going to be necessarily a major tornado threat. I wouldn't say it's going to be as big as, let's say, the previous severe weather threats we've experienced in March throughout the southeast, where we saw numerous tornadoes, unfortunately some lives lost, and a large hail in multitude of places. I think the severe weather threat will be a little lighter. There will certainly be damaging winds associated with these thunderstorms still, and hail is certainly possible, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily the very extremely large hail or the major tornado outbreak we saw, let's say, in March or in previous big tornado outbreaks. So that's definitely good news that it won't be as major as those severe weather outbreaks. However, you still don't want to underestimate the severe weather in the southeast, because certainly damaging winds and some hail could cause damage to your home and could affect your plants. So you need to keep a close eye on that still, and make sure to at least take your plan, take the weather into consideration when you're maybe making plans for later today. Now, in terms of the timing, you should expect the storms in the southeast. If we take a look at the Futurecast radar, let me get it right now. If we take a look, this is where we're at around the radar right now. You see thunderstorm activity throughout the northern Midwest. However, like I said, the thunderstorm activity will move further southward as the cold core of this low pressure system moves further to the southeast, and it will induce an area where the lift will be very strong as a result of the denser air trying to filter into that less dense air located in the southeast. And as a result, we're going to see that water vapor get forced upwards by the more dense air parcel, and we're going to see thunderstorms really begin to form right around 5 p.m. on Wednesday. And unfortunately, this is going to be in a large squall line, so there's a pretty big likelihood that you could experience severe weather, especially throughout the Mississippi River Valley, which includes Memphis, southeastern Arkansas, and northern Louisiana. Could get the worst of this severe weather from these squall lines, and you see this will continue even closer to the overnight hours, right nearly at midnight on Wednesday, going into Thursday, and eventually on Thursday, or very early Thursday, the thunderstorm activity will wind down, which is typical for thunderstorms going into the late night hours where the instability is a lot less, but there still will be the chance of heavy rain showers throughout the southeast, so you need to keep a close eye on that. Damaging winds are likely, and hail as well, and maybe the isolated tornado in certain areas, so keep a close eye on that if you're in the southeast. But the bigger severe weather threat I am most concerned about is the one that's going to come right after this one. That's going to impact a lot of Southeast and the Mississippi River Valley states. So if we take a look at what the GFS model is forecasting what happens after the low pressure system, like I said, since the low pressure system is going to move very slowly, it's going to bring a northwesterly wind component to bring this trough for just far enough southward to create an unstable environment, to create a potentially major severe weather outbreak. If we take a look, you see that jet stream dips pretty far southward along with the trough where there's a lot of cold air, and that will create just very strong lift right around the southeast to create potentially not only a major severe weather threat, but a major flood threat as well, where we do see the heavy rain showers and the thunderstorm activity throughout the southeast. And even moving further and further into the run, you see thunderstorm activity moves along the Gulf Coast states and right along the Gulf Coast, and we do see now a formidable low pressure system form in the northern Midwest states. So this is certainly something to at least watch throughout the southeast. This could be maybe a major severe weather threat. And what is more concerning is that if we take a look at the convective available potential energy associated with this next trough, while the first trough we won't see a ton, maybe around 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram when it comes to of convective available potential energy. However, this next one is quite this next trough is showing values that are quite concerning, because we do see the convective available potential energy peak at nearly 5,000 joules per kilogram, which is just a lot of energy in the atmosphere, a lot of lift that's going on, and I think that's more than enough to create a major severe weather threat in the southeast. As to be honest, I haven't seen convective available potential energy this high pretty much this entire year, and quite in a while, to be honest. So this could maybe be a major severe weather threat. There's still days to go. We need to see how much unstable air there will be. It really all depends on a multitude of factors. For example, over the next several days, we need to keep track of this low pressure system, where it's located, because if it's located a little bit further eastward and it's a little bit more potent than we expect, then expect this next trough will move further southward to create an even more unstable environment for a bigger severe weather outbreak. However, if this storm is weaker and moves a little bit further eastward than originally expected, then expect less unstable air associated with this trough and a less major severe weather threat. However, what the GFS model is currently predicting, which could change, but it's currently predicting that there will be at least some sort of major severe weather or heavy rain threat associated with this next trough, as shown by how much convective available potential energy there will be in the atmosphere to create just enough lift for very severe thunderstorm activity. So we need to keep a close eye on it over the next several days, keep a close eye on this low pressure system, because it will be key in determining what will happen with this next trough, and we'll see if this will become the next severe weather threat. And if we take a look at the European model, it's also agreeing with the GFS for the most part that we're going to see some sort of heavy rain and severe weather threat associated with this next trough. And while it could change, since both the computer model has been persisting on this for quite a while, I'm more leaning towards the fact that we're going to see another major severe weather threat. And as you can see right around the 80-hour mark, the severe weather extends to the southeast, and there's going to be just enough unstable air to support that throughout the southeast. So we need to keep a close eye on this over the next several days. The European model and the GFS model are currently very identical, which is definitely something we at least want to see, even if it isn't the type of weather you want to see, because it gives us at least more confidence that a certain thing will happen with the weather over the next several days. It's better to be at least certain that something's bad is going to happen than completely uncertain. The good news is that there's more certainty with this forecast that we're going to see a major severe weather threat right after this next low pressure system. But again, it could change. We need to pay close attention to any further changes in the forecast that may occur over the next several days. Now, in terms of which exact areas should expect the worst of the severe weather, you see that in right around Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, I listed this area that it will experience major severe weather, and I'm putting major severe weather not really because of this first trough I've been talking about, but the potential that this second trough could bring a major severe weather threat where hail, damaging winds, and isolated tornadoes will be likely. And then I expect for this first trough, it'll be mainly a moderate severe weather threat, nothing major for the southeast, but for the second trough, like I listed Storm 2, I do think that the severe weather will be major in a lot of those states. And then you see moderate severe weather is expected just further northward, and minimal severe weather is expected just to the northeast. So point is you guys need to keep a close eye on this, especially in the southeast, and next some major severe weather threats could occur. And later today, keep in mind of some severe weather moving through your area for later today. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. Make sure to like if you like this video. Make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather content. And I hope you guys have a good day.